Chaff Chats, Jess with Emotional Fire Academy, here today to talk about how to thrive in chaos as a highly sensitive person. Subscribe to my channel if you are a HSP who is looking for weekly tips, tricks, and tools to uplevel and evolve your life, because that's what we do here at Emotional Fire Academy. And who am I? I am Jess. I'm your driver operator on this journey. I am a master NLP practitioner and a former firefighter. So you can take this from me, from someone who has been running into emergencies since she was 16 and not away from them. So I'm going to give you some interesting perspectives today to help you make it through Corona, make it through whatever your life is happening in your life, make it through the chaos, and come out even better than before and thrive during all of this maelstrom that's happening around you. So, welcome. I'm excited that you're here today, and this is kind of more of I'm going to keep it kind of fun and lighthearted and very archetypal so that it's easy to understand and digest. So when we are facing chaos, right, when we're in a situation where things seem really chaotic, our world seems very chaotic, our life seems very chaotic, a situation seems very chaotic, there is a variety of roles that we can play. And obviously, I have talked about personas or roles before on this channel. I believe a persona or a role is not so fixed. It's actually a point in consciousness that we can adopt spontaneously. So as I'm talking about this, if you're like, yeah, but I can't be like a fire chief. They have years and years of experience. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, because in a moment, you can adopt a point of consciousness where you will take on those qualities of a leader, of someone who's not afraid. People do it all the time. This is what I'm fascinated by, is the people who, instead of being victimized in a situation, rise to the occasion spontaneously and do incredible things like lift cars off of other people, put out their own fire when their house is on fire. This happens out there in the real world. You will hear stories of this. You will see evidence of it. So normal everyday people can adopt these points of consciousness. And this is an analogy for your own life. You can take these points of consciousness and adopt them spontaneously and act from them or perceive from them and gain the benefit of that. So when I'm talking about this, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, and be playful and open to receiving this message I have for you today. So let's go to the roles or the persona. So when something chaotic is happening, let's say we're gonna take a fire scene, because this is what I specialize in. So we have the victim here. The victim is running away. The victim is afraid. The victim is freaked out. The victim is hyper-focused on the problem, right? The problem is their house is burning down. And I'm not taking away from the trauma of this experience if you have had this happen to you. But this is all, again, we're just going into archetypes today. The victim is hyper-focused on the problem and panicked, having an emotional reaction as opposed to emotional response. That victim consciousness is, I'm not okay. I'm not okay because this is happening. I am not okay because this is happening. I'm not okay because this is happening, right? And that victim consciousness, stepping into that, it's very disempowering. It's feeling like they can't do anything. This person doesn't feel like they could do anything, right? All they can do is escape with their own life. And so and I'm pointing this out because when you're feeling in a chaotic situation, like this person, like have stepped into this consciousness, realize there are other roles for you to play. You can step into other personas or other roles to give you a different perspective and thus to process the situation in a different way. So obviously that's the victim. Who do we have inside? We have a firefighter, right? So the firefighter is, they're the actor, right? They're taking action. They're the one that's going into the building. They're running towards the chaos, right? They're running into the emergency. They are approaching the problem in a very calm state, in a very collected state. They have managed to realize that their internal state is different from the chaos of what's going on around them. And there's this very clear divide, because if suddenly, the firefighter were to feel that they were in danger, that they weren't safe, they would then become this person. They would run for their lives, or they would bail out the window, or they would call for Mayday. And so this person, when we're talking about in a more figurative way, stepping into the consciousness of the firefighter, right? The person who is approaching the chaos unruffled, what allows them to do that? And I believe that it is a collection, it's a mindset. It's a collection of thoughts and beliefs that this person holds, and this is what I held. When I started firefighting when I was 16, I had the benefit of being 16 and feeling immortal. When we're teenagers, we feel immortal. But I maintained that feeling of I am inherently safe. So what allows, this person to become this person is the thought, and explore this with me, the thought, I am always safe. I am inherently safe. I am inherently safe. And whether, that's not only a mindset, but it's, through training or just good old gumption. People that run into burning buildings, they're like, I'm safe because I don't, I care more about what's inside that I'm trying to get to than I do about me. And so there's different ways to get to this belief. I am safe. I am safe. I'm always safe. I am safe in the midst of the fire and the smoke and the heat. I'm safe. And maintaining that, I was able to then carry that belief. I continued that belief system for the rest of my life up until now. I have maintained that, and so when I am presented with chaos or an emergency, I will always move towards it, because I have that. I am safe. I am safe. I'm always safe. The basic foundational belief system, I am safe. And it's interesting when you back up a little bit and you look at times in your life when you did move towards the chaos, when you moved towards it, there was an inner knowingness of like, I'm safe, I am okay, I am okay. It doesn't matter what is out there. It's two dogs fighting or whatever's out there, and you're moving towards it. You have a knowingness of your own safety. And this is something you can cultivate. You don't have to be a firefighter. You can cultivate this in your own life with a foundational belief of, I am always safe. Always. Nothing, this insistence on, I am always safe. And there are other beliefs that kind of can make up this structure of, like, for instance, I believe that I get to choose when I pass on to the next life. That in the moment where I am faced with death, that I get to choose yes or no. And why is that? It's partially because that's just what I choose to believe. I believe that. I believe that it's going to be my choice at that moment of stay or go. And so that is a very empowering, that I have control. Because what's the worst that can happen to you in life, right? You die. I feel that's one of the worst things that can happen. And so in that moment, if you have a choice point of yes, I'm gonna pass, or no, I'm not gonna pass, that, having that degree of control can bolster a belief, a foundational belief of I am always safe. Nobody can take anything away from me that I'm not allowing them to. And so that I am always safe, that is if you want to move from the victim consciousness into the hero, I guess you could call it the hero consciousness, the actor, the one who's taking action. It's a very active role as opposed to the chief, which we're going to talk about momentarily. So I am safe. If you can really tap into that feeling, I'm safe. Nobody can take anything away from me. Me as a soul, this body may shed, I may go on to the next place, but that essence of me is always safe. Nobody can take that away from me. I am in control of that essence, that pure the spirit or whatever it is, the soul, whatever your beliefs behind that are. Or that, or that you're just stubborn. Maybe if you're an atheist, you can just be like, I'm just stubborn. I will refuse to die. I'm stubborn. I will make it through whatever life throws at me. I will make it through. I will overcome. That kind of safety inherent in just being good and stubborn. So if you can kind of feel what I'm saying, that difference in consciousness between, being fearful and running and not feeling safe. This person does not feel safe. They don't feel safe. They don't feel in control. If you want to thrive in the chaos, maintaining a foundation of belief, I am always safe. And that also has to do with how potent are your actions? How potent do you believe your actions are in the world? I think my actions are very potent. I know if I wanted to do something, I would keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until I got it, until I got my way, And so, again, that's another way to support that, like, I'm always safe. I know that I'm going to get my way eventually. I know that I am, and I've talked about this in the resiliency series. Please go check that one out. It's a 4-parter. I'll link it above. But I'm always safe. This is the belief that helped me go into burning buildings. This is the belief that helped me to help people who are dying. This is the belief that holding it and keeping it has allowed me to run into every emergency situation that life has thrown at me. I am always safe. I am always safe. The world can be burning around me. Get out the marshmallows. I'm safe. Okay? So that's one way to thrive in the chaos, is to adopt that mindset. To adopt that permanently. To practice being this person more often than you're practicing being the victim. The victim consciousness, where you don't feel in control. You feel like things are happening to you. You're not okay because they happen to you. This person knows they're okay. They can go in because their person is okay. I am okay. I am in control of this. My head and my heart, my person, my body. I am in control of this. I am safe. There's an interesting the third role that we can also take on. So this is a little more active role, being the firefighter, going into the emergency. We don't always have to go into the chaos as highly sensitive people. For my sensory seeking HSPs, you might be playing the actor. You like action. You like doing stuff. Go for it. Be the firefighter. For those who are a little more introverted, a little more like to be in more of a receptive role, then we have the chief position, right? What does the chief do in the chaos? The fire chief. The fire chief does not go into the building, typically. They stand outside. They stand outside and they receive information. They're receiving information, right? Their sole role on the scene is to have the bigger picture view of everything. All these people, they're looking over all of these people. They're keeping a very wide perspective. And so this is more of a receiver and an actor. So these are the two roles then, if depending on whether you like action or you like to kind of sit back and receive. Again, masculine energy, feminine energy. But the fire chief takes a very wide picture view of things. They trust in their own ability to receive information. When you're managing, I have managed scenes before, and when you are the first person on the scene and you take charge of a scene, you can feel yourself actually slipping into that persona. Because your job is to take in information. You are suddenly need to be aware and perceiving everything that's happening, on multiple levels. How this guy is feeling, what this person is doing, what the fire is doing, what is on the periphery, so you really slip into a role of the receptor of information, the receiver of information. So this is an alternate how to thrive in the chaos, to take a step back, to assume the role of the fire chief, the one who sees it all, the one who is perceiving the information, allowing the information to flow to them, and trusting. It's this level of self-trust, and we're going to get to that in a second. Trusting that that they have the full awareness to perceive everything that they need to know. and to be able to keep an eye on everything and manage everything just in that flow of information. And they're using all of their senses. This is a very sensory position. They've slipped into, the five senses. They're receiving data from all of that, but they're not reacting to it, right? They're, again, receiving information, not in a panicked state, but from a state of like, I see all the options. I'm keeping all the options open. I'm perceiving everything that's coming in. And so what is their foundational belief? This person, this role is, I am inherently wise. I'm inherently wise. This wisdom, this is the wisdom, or this is the safety, this is that wisdom. Like, I am always wise. I always have access to wisdom, my own wisdom, the wisdom of the universe that's flowing into me. I trust in my ability to perceive always. And so these are two interesting other roles that we can take. And this is about self-trust. These three roles and personas are different degrees and flavors of self-trust. Like, how much do you trust yourself at the end of the day? In a chaotic situation, how well do you trust your ability to handle it? If you feel disempowered, if you're running away from it, if you are disrupted by what is happening around you, there's kind of a lack of self-trust. There's this self-abandonment that is happening, unfortunately. And it's very uncomfortable. And so when we feel ourselves slipping into that, when you feel that, like, this just feels icky, it feels like negative emotion, it feels like, I just feel out of control. I feel buffeted by the waves, by the smoke, by the fire, by the chaos, by coronavirus. Step into these other two personas. Imagine yourself, and it's just an imaginary, remember I talked about imagination as in terms of, taking care of your inner world, keeping it nice and tidy, giving yourself the things that you need on the inside. This is a huge part of that. Step into the firefighter role. Know that you're always safe. You're always safe, and then act from that. It's a very forward, like, acting progression towards the chaos. Jump into the fray, and act, and know that your actions are going to be potent, and know that you're always safe. This is for more, if you're feeling a little adventurous, a little spicy, this is for more of, you want to perceive, or take a step back. Take a step back, see everything. Sit in a place of, I am the fire chief. I am the chief of this situation. I am the all-knowing. I can perceive the information that's happening around me and disseminate it and just observe. A very observational, and then when the time's right, then the action comes in. But to be able to perceive in the chaos, to be able to perceive the bigger picture, not just focusing, they're not hyper-focused. The chief isn't just like, oh God, the fire. They're watching the other people in the scene, the vehicles. They're acutely aware of everything. So I am inherently wise. I am an excellent receptor of information, a receiver of information. I will always receive the information I need in order to then be the actor, right? So these are two ways to thrive as a highly sensitive person. You just pop into them. Pop into these states of consciousness. Utilize them. You don't always have to be stuck in this person. When you can literally, in your mind, adopt to that consciousness, that mindset, you're going to start thriving in the chaos. You're going to start thriving in the chaos where other people are narrowly looking at that fire and panicking. You will be able to get a lot of information, to perceive the bigger picture, to put it to reframe it, to know what's happening beyond just the problem and integrate the information that's coming in. Or you're going to be able to, as the actor, if you want to take a more active role, get in there and start affecting your reality and start being a part of the action. So, it's all about self-trust. Trust yourself. Trust your ability to receive. Trust your ability to act. And trust that you're going to be okay. This person forgets that they're going to be okay. You're always going to be okay. Your okayness is something that when you cultivate, nobody can take away from you. Nobody. Nobody. So don't take it away from yourself when it looks like things are hitting the fan. Because the bigger picture, there's the bigger picture of things is so much more rich and diverse than the problem, right? The energy of the solution is always different than the energy of the problem. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know what you thought. This was a very figurative exercise today. Go ahead and drop me a comment below the video. Let me know a situation when maybe you played one of these roles unexpectedly. You just found yourself stepping into that and what happened. I'd love to hear your stories, and please share them with me because I respond to every comment that I get on my videos. And if you are a highly sensitive person ready to start being more empowered in your own life and taking charge and thriving in chaos, please reach out to me at emotionalfireacademy.com. And I have an excellent 3-month flammable to fireproof program that would be perfect for you. And I will provide one-on-one support during that time for you. So thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.